My name's Liz. I'm going to give you an IELTS practice speaking test. First, I will give you instructions. Then I will give you your speaking test. After the test, I will give you a link so that you can get model answers for all the questions in this test. If you have read the instructions before on my website, you can click here to start your test immediately. For this test, you will need a pen, a piece of paper, a recording device, for example your telephone, so that you can record your answers when you speak, and also a timer so that you can control the time in the test. There are 3 parts to this test. Part 1 is the interview, Part 2 is a talk, and Part 3 is a chance for you to answer questions about a world issue or abstract questions. The moment I begin to ask the first question, you must start your recording device and also your timer. This way you will know the length of the test. The test should take no more than 11 to 14 minutes for all parts. Now let me give you some instructions so that you know how to work this test. After the first question, pause the video and answer the question. When you've finished answering, start the video again and listen to the next question. Pause after you listen and answer the question. Continue pausing and answering the questions until you finish part 1. There are 12 questions in part 1, the same as your real IELTS speaking test. Part 1 can never be more than 5 minutes. After part 1, you will have part 2, that's the talk. I will give you the topic. The cue card, the topic card, will appear on the screen. I will explain that you will have 1 minute to prepare. You will need your pen and paper for that. The time for preparation, 1 minute, will be timed in the video, so don't worry about that. I will tell you when to start speaking. Your talk must last for more than 1 minute, but less than 2 minutes. At the end of 1 minute, a button will appear. So if you finish your talk early, you can jump to part 3. But it is important to try and keep talking for 2 minutes. At the end of 2 minutes, I will stop you if you're still talking to move on to part 3. After part 2, there will be part 3. I will ask between 5 to 6 questions for part 3. Just like in part 1, you need to listen to the question in the video, press pause and give your answer. When you've finished your answer, press the video to play again and listen to the next question. You need to continue pausing and answering the questions until the end of part 3. Part 3 lasts more than 4 minutes, but less than 5 minutes. So again, if you are taking less than 4 minutes, you're not giving long enough answers. Part 3 only has 5 to 6 questions, so that means you need to give long answers. Give lots of detail and lots of examples. And at the end of the test, I will give you a link so that you can get all the model answers for the test. Let's start your IELTS practice speaking test. I'd like to talk about your home. Do you live in a house or a flat? Which is your favourite room? Can you describe it? If you could improve one thing about your house, what would it be? Let's move on. I'd like to talk about films. Do you enjoy watching films? What kind of films do you like most? Did you watch much TV as a child? Are foreign language films popular in your country? Let's talk about greeting people. How would you greet someone who was visiting your house? Would you greet an old friend and a stranger in the same way? How do you meet new people? Do you think first impressions are important? I'd like to move on now. I'm going to give you a topic to talk about. You will need your pen and paper for this. You will have 1 minute to prepare, and I would like you to speak for 2 minutes. I would like you to describe a holiday you recently had. Please start making notes now. I will let you know when it's time to begin speaking. Could you start speaking now, please? Thank you. I'd like to talk more about holidays and travelling. If you had the chance to travel anywhere, where would you go? Why do you think some people like travelling alone? Do you think travel has changed much in the last few decades? How does travel change people? Do you think there are any disadvantages to modern travel? That's the end of your IELTS.